On a muddy city street, an old man sat quietly in worn slippers, soaked by a splash of dirty rainwater. Strangers looked on in shock, but the woman who caused it did not even flinch. She rolled down her tinted window, mocked him, and sped away. No one knew the truth. This was no ordinary beggar. This quiet old man was testing the world. And today, a stranger's voice would shift the course of love, family, and legacy. Forever. The skies were still heavy from the afternoon rain, and the roadside was muddy and slick. Puddles glistened in the dull light. An old man named Papa Thomas sat on a wooden bench, his clothes soaked, his face calm. He had just finished sweeping outside a small shop and was taking a moment to rest. Suddenly, a loud roar echoed through the narrow street. A black Range Rover, glossy and proud, sped through a deep puddle. A wave of filthy water surged forward, splashing over Papa Thomas from head to toe. The old man flinched, blinking against the muddy splash. His simple shirt and slippers were now dripping brown. People nearby gasped in shock. A woman shouted, "Hey, look what you did!" But the car did not stop. It rolled forward, paused, and then the tinted window came down just a few feet away. A polished female voice echoed coldly, "You should not be sitting so close to the road, old man. This is not your village." Then the window rolled back up and the car sped away. The crowd fell into stunned silence. "Did she really just say that?" a man whispered. "Wicked woman," someone else muttered. "She did not even say sorry. Papa Thomas is always kind. Why treat him like that?" But the old man raised his hand gently and spoke, "It is all right. Let her go. Let God judge." Meanwhile, inside the luxury mall, the woman, Vanessa, walked proudly, her heels clicking. Her phone buzzed. She snapped a selfie and posted it with the caption, "Only the strong walk over the weak. Boss Queen." Online hearts and fire emojis rained in. She smiled. To her, what had happened was nothing. She believed poor people were obstacles, shadows. They had no voice, no value. But Papa Thomas, soaked and silent, returned home late that day. He stepped quietly into a vast, elegant mansion. Despite his simple clothing, he lived in comfort. His son Bernard was a millionaire. Bernard looked up from his tablet. "Papa, what happened to your shirt?" Papa Thomas sat carefully. "Bernard, I met the most disrespectful woman today." Bernard sighed. "Papa, again? Why do you keep doing this? You do not need to be out there. We have all this. Just rest." But the old man's voice grew firm. "I will not stop, not until I find a good woman for you." Bernard froze. "Papa, you are 36. You need a wife, one who will build with you, not just take what you have." Bernard said, "I already have a girlfriend." The old man's eyes lit up. "You do?" "Yes, but she is complicated. She is rude, Papa. She looks down on people. She spends money like water." Papa Thomas leaned back, his voice quiet. "So why are you with her?" Bernard looked away. "She is beautiful. I thought I could change her." The old man was silent for a while, then spoke again. "Does she respect you?" "Sometimes." "Does she respect herself?" Bernard said nothing. "Then bring her here. Let me see her. Do not warn her. Let her come as she is. I want to meet the real her." Bernard hesitated, then nodded. "Okay, Papa, maybe this weekend." Papa Thomas smiled softly. "Good. Let her surprise herself." But what Bernard did not know was that fate was already writing a different story. She spat at his feet and called him the reason the country was backward. People passed by in silence until a young woman dropped her groceries and stepped forward. What happened next stunned the street and silenced pride. But she did not know. The man she defended was not what he seemed. He had been watching, waiting, praying for someone just like her. And without knowing it, she had just walked into a test, one that would change all of their lives forever. The sun was harsh the next afternoon, and the ground was dry but still stained from yesterday's storm. Outside a large supermarket, Papa Thomas sat alone. His posture was gentle. His clothes were simple, still bearing faint splashes from the mud. People walked past, some glanced, others ignored him entirely. He never asked for help, he just waited, silently. Then, it happened again. A familiar growl filled the air. The black Range Rover jerked to a stop in front of the supermarket. Loud music blared. The doors clicked open. Vanessa. She stepped out, sunglasses low, perfume heavy in the heat. Her lips curled when she saw him. "You again?" hissed. "Old stinking man, still disgracing yourself like this?" She walked closer, towering over him like a shadow. "Look at you," she spat. "You smell like the gutter. Why are you still alive?" Still, he said nothing. His hands remained on his knees, calm, unmoving. "You people are why this country is cursed. You sit and rot while the rest of us move forward." And then she spat near his feet. The crowd froze. Just then, a quiet voice sliced through the heat. "Enough!" Everyone turned. A young woman holding 2 grocery bags had stopped a few feet away. She stepped forward slowly. "Who are you?" Vanessa snapped. "Someone who still knows right from wrong," the girl replied. Her name was Mary. Her voice was steady, but there was fire in her eyes. Vanessa laughed. Another poor rat trying to feel important. Mary ignored the insult. "You are insulting an old man who has done nothing to you." Vanessa tossed her hair. "He exists. That is what he did. He should disappear. Poor men like him pollute the air." Mary's jaw tightened. "He is old enough to be your father." "Then maybe he is your father," Vanessa smirked. "You both look poor. It fits." Mary stepped closer, her eyes narrowing. "Maybe he is my father," she said softly. "At least he is not empty inside like you." Vanessa's face darkened. "Do you know who I am?" She growled. "I can get you arrested in 2 minutes." "For what?" Mary asked. "For telling you to respect your elders? You are not rich, you are just loud." The silence that followed was electric. "I am clean, I am classy," she shouted. "You are noisy, a mirror with no reflection, just glitter and no gold." People stopped to watch. Vanessa trembled. "You will regret this." Mary stepped forward without blinking. "One day, the same man you mocked will be the one you kneel before." "Get out of my way!" she shrieked, but her voice cracked. Mary pointed to the road. "Leave. Take your proud legs and walk." Vanessa's chest heaved. Her face turned red. She turned, stormed into her car, slammed the door, and vanished in a screech of tires. Silence. Then Mary turned to the old man. "I'm sorry, sir," she said gently. He looked at her for the first time, deep, grateful eyes. "Thank you, my daughter." She sat beside him on the wooden bench. Her breath was steady, but her hands trembled slightly. What she had done had not been easy, but it had been right. "My name is Mary," she said, smiling shyly. "Thomas," he replied, "but people just call me Papa Thomas." "Papa, where do you stay?" He hesitated. "There is a small, empty store at the edge of town. The owner lets me sleep there. It's nothing, but it keeps the rain out." Her smile faded. "Oh, Papa, I'm sorry." He shook his head gently. "Do not be. This world turns slowly. I may be poor, but I have peace." She looked at him with quiet wonder. "You are too wise to be out here." He gave a tired smile. "Life teaches you deeply when you have nothing left." "I studied agriculture," she said suddenly. "I graduated a year ago, still no job. My parents are farmers in the village. I came here to try." He nodded. "You are trying. That matters." She paused. "Papa, instead of sitting here every day, what if we start a small farm, even behind the store? Simple things like okra, pepper, tomatoes. You will have food. We can sell the rest." He stared at her. "You want to help me farm?" "Yes, Papa. I don't have money, but I have strength. I will work." We will grow something better than coins. We will grow peace." He sat frozen. Something stirred in his chest. He had waited for someone to see him, truly see him. "You are too kind," he whispered. "No, Papa, I just believe good people should not be left to drown in silence." He looked at her eyes, clear, steady, true. "You hardly know me." "I know me enough," she answered. "You kept silent when she cursed you. That silence told me everything." He smiled, slow and wide. "You are different," she said gently. She stood up, picked up her grocery bags. "Okay, Papa, see you tomorrow." He nodded, still dazed. "Don't go missing." She walked away, his heart shaking with something powerful. Not shame, not sadness. Hope.
She sat beside a man everyone ignored and offered to build a farm with him. What she did not know was that her kindness had already reached the heart of someone powerful. When Papa Thomas returned home that evening, he was not just smiling, he was glowing. His quiet mission was no longer just a hope, it had taken root. But as he shared the story with his son, something unexpected happened. A confession, followed by a warning that would leave Bernard shaken. That evening, the mansion was quiet. Papa Thomas stepped inside, gently closed the door behind him, and removed his sandals. He moved slowly, but not because he was tired, because he was thinking. His face carried something new, not worry, not disappointment, joy. Bernard sat on the couch, reading from his tablet. He looked up and noticed his father's expression. "Papa?" he asked. "Why are you smiling like that?" Papa Thomas sat down beside him, leaned back, and let out a long, peaceful sigh. "Bernard, today I met someone." Bernard raised his eyebrows. "Someone?" "Yes," Papa Thomas replied. "A woman. Not just any woman. The most beautiful, respectful, and well-mannered woman I have met in a very long time." Bernard chuckled. "Papa, you went matchmaking again." "No," the old man said, smiling wider. "I sat outside the supermarket today. That same proud woman came, the one in the black Range Rover. She insulted me again, worse than before. She called me dirty, cursed me, spat at my feet." Bernard clenched his jaw. "She did what?" Papa Thomas waved his hand gently. "It is all right. I have heard worse in my life. But this time, something changed." He leaned forward. A young woman stepped in. I had never seen her before. She dropped her groceries and stood between us. She defended me with courage. Not with noise, not with violence, but with fire in her voice and dignity in her spirit. Bernard sat still, his eyes locked on his father. "She told that proud woman the truth," Papa Thomas continued. "And then she came and sat beside me. She asked if I was all right, as if I mattered. She did not know who I was. She just cared." "What is her name?" Bernard asked quietly. "Mary." "Mary," Bernard repeated. "Yes, I told her I had no home. She did not laugh. She did not walk away. Do you know what she said?" Bernard waited. "She said, 'Papa, I can help you.' She offered to start a small farm with me, behind the store. She studied agriculture. No job yet. Her parents are farmers, but instead of complaining, she offered her hands, her time, her spirit. She wanted to help me grow food so I could stop begging." Bernard blinked, stunned. "She really said that?" Papa Thomas nodded slowly. "I told you I was done looking for your wife, but after today, I do not know. That girl is gold. She has no riches, but she has character. And that, my son, is what money can never buy." Bernard rubbed his chin. "Papa," he began, "I did not want to say this before, but my girlfriend is coming tomorrow." Papa Thomas's smile faded. "She wants to meet you." He leaned back slowly. "And what do you want me to do with that information?" Bernard hesitated. "I just thought you should know." Papa Thomas's voice grew firmer. "I sat outside for days pretending to be a beggar, not for fun, not for pity, but because I wanted to find the kind of woman this house needs. The kind of woman who brings peace, not noise, not tension, not pride dressed in perfume." Bernard looked away. "Papa, you do not even know my girlfriend." "No, I do not. And whose fault is that? You say she is beautiful. That is fine. But can beauty feed the soul? Can makeup mend the heart?" Bernard swallowed hard. "I remember, when I was young, I wanted the most beautiful girl in the village. My mother warned me. I did not listen. That woman had the face of an angel and the tongue of a lion. She nearly destroyed my spirit." "What happened?" Bernard whispered. "She left me. And it was the best thing that ever happened to me. That's when I met your mother. She was not the most beautiful, but her heart was clean. Her hands were strong. Her love built this family." Bernard's throat tightened. "So, you think Mary is—" "I am not saying anything yet," Papa Thomas said, rising from his seat. "But let me be clear. If the woman you bring tomorrow carries even one drop of that same pride I saw today," he looked Bernard in the eyes, "I will tell her so to her face." Bernard sat frozen. The test had already begun. And tomorrow, the masks would fall. She walked in with confidence, expecting applause. But within minutes, her smile would fade. What Vanessa did not know was that the quiet old man sitting across from her was not just Bernard's father, he was the same man she had humiliated in public. And now, her pride was about to meet the truth. In that living room, the future of Bernard's heart, home, and happiness would be decided. And when it was over, only one woman would remain standing with grace. The morning came fast. Vanessa arrived at the mansion like royalty. A black SUV pulled into the driveway. She stepped slowly, wearing heels sharp enough to cut silence. Her nails glimmered, her designer purse swayed from her wrist. She looked at the house with satisfaction. "Not bad," she murmured. Inside, Bernard adjusted his collar nervously. Papa Thomas sat quietly, sipping tea, dressed in a simple shirt. His face was calm, but his eyes, they were watchful. The doorbell rang. Bernard opened it. "Vanessa!" She gave a polite smile and leaned in. "Hi, babe." He stepped aside. "Come in." She walked in confidently, eyeing the decor like she was judging it for a magazine. Then her gaze fell on the old man sitting on the sofa. Vanessa froze. Her entire body stiffened. Her pupils dilated. Her breath caught in her throat. "You!" she whispered. Papa Thomas looked at her gently. "Yes," he said. "Me." Vanessa's knees weakened, but she forced a smile. I think I've seen you before." "Yes, you have. I was the old man at the roadside, the one you drenched in muddy water. Twice." The room went completely still. Bernard's head snapped to her. "What?" Vanessa's voice wavered. "Babe, I did not know. You called him dirty. You spat at his feet." I thought he was just a beggar," she cried. "He is my father," Bernard said flatly. Vanessa's mouth opened, closed. She tried to recover. "I'm sorry. I didn't know," she stammered. I thought he was nobody." "And that's exactly the problem," Papa Thomas said. "To you, people who look poor are nobodies. Vanessa turned to Bernard. "Please, say something." But Bernard could not speak. He was watching her now with new eyes. "He told you," Papa Thomas said. "I wanted to see her as she truly is. No masks, no rehearsals." He stepped closer. "You judged a man by his clothes. You poured insults on someone you believed could do nothing for you. You thought your boyfriend's father was beneath you." "Papa, please," Vanessa whispered. "Don't papa me," he said firmly. "The girl I met yesterday had nothing but gave everything. Respect, courage, wisdom. You, on the other hand, have everything and gave nothing but shame." Vanessa's lips trembled. Bernard finally spoke. "I needed to see this for myself," he said quietly. "I thought maybe you just needed time. Maybe you're misunderstood. But today, you stood in front of the one person I love most, and you failed." Tears filled Vanessa's eyes. "Please, Bernard." "No," he said, stepping back. "This is over." She stood frozen, as if turned to stone. "You may leave now," Papa Thomas added softly, "with all your pride." Vanessa opened her mouth, then turned. She walked out without another word. The door closed behind her. Silence fell. Papa Thomas turned to Bernard. "Now you understand." "I do, Papa." "And Mary?" Bernard smiled weakly. "I want to meet